Hey everybody, welcome to what is possibly the final episode of Blu-ray Trip here on Burns Reviews. I'll be honest, I was quite discouraged. I haven't gone to Best Buy in a while. Their films have really taken a dive as far as like new releases, because obviously Hollywood hasn't been putting out a lot of new releases, and the ones that they are putting out, a lot of them are just like directly to streaming, or maybe they're just not worth buying. That tends to usually be the case. But it being October 1st, or October 5th, I guess by now, I thought, you know what? Let's go check out and see what they got in there as far as like Halloween Steelbooks. I went online, and I was able to snag one of the last copies of American Psycho. Now, if you don't know what American Psycho is, I feel bad for you, because it is an American classic that came out in the early 2000s. In fact, I think it came out in the year 2000. And it's a satire, it's a black horror comedy, and it's a lot of fun because it's a very dark take of Patrick Bateman, aka Christian Bale. And if you want to see like an evil Bruce Wayne before he became Bruce Wayne, I remember being a kid, the year was 2004, and I heard that Christian Bale was going to be playing the new Batman. I had no idea who he was, and these were like the dog days of Blockbuster. This is like the beginning of when Blockbuster was starting to slow down a little bit. But I remember asking somebody at the counter, I'm like, who is Christian Bale? Because before YouTube, I think YouTube came out in 2005, the following year, if you want to know something about an actor, about, you know, somebody working, like what other movies were they in, you would just talk to the guy at the front. You would just ask them, and they would usually know, because all they do is watch movies all day. So I was like, Christian Bale, he's going to be playing Batman, and Batman Begins. You know, I didn't know the name of it yet, but I was like, who is Christian Bale? And he's like, you want to watch American Psycho. Mind you, I was like 13 at the time. I was pretty young, so I was like, all right, what is that? And he's like, come with me. And it might have even been on VHS. I think it was DVD. Yeah, it was probably DVD, because it was 2000 something. And sure enough, he showed me American Psycho. And the first time I saw it, because when I was a kid, my dad would let me rent any movie I wanted. First time I saw it with my dad, I thought, this is a weird movie, and my dad thought it was awful. Skip ahead, a couple years later, I'm in college, and one of my buddies is like, have you ever seen American Psycho? And I'm like, I think so? He's like, we're watching it. So we watch it, and we had like a 30-pack of like Miller or something like that. And I remember thinking, like, this is the strangest movie. And he's like, it's my absolute favorite. I'm like, all right. So then I watched it again. And every time I watched it, I liked it a little bit more, because I started to realize this was not a straight-up horror movie. It was a comedy, and it's really dark and really funny. To the point that we used to just be like, hey, listen, we're going to invite people over to the dorms. We would ask all these girls in Greek life, like, hey, we're watching this movie tonight. You should come by and watch it. And you should see some of the reactions we got, especially when you get to that alley scene where Patrick Bateman just stomps on a dog. You should see some of the faces. They turned white. They turned green. In retrospect, probably not the greatest idea, but it seemed like a funny idea at the time. And it is the most quotable movie that I can think of. Kind of like Anchorman. There's probably like 20 different quotes I can pull out of this movie that just make me smile in glee.
Just say no! Another martini, Paul.
Because I want to fit in.
Right there, the reservation endorsement now! You like Huey Lewis in the news? I have to return some videotapes.
So I did pick up the 4K edition. It's unrated, as you can see. It has additional commentary tracks that I haven't heard before. And it's just a great movie. It's a great way to kick off the Halloween season, and I look forward to watching it. Unfortunately, Best Buy, though, has taken a nosedive. I went in there and found that they only had one aisle. One half aisle, double-sided. On the one side, half the aisle was being shared with smart TVs. They put smart TVs in the Blu-ray aisle, and I'm like, oh wow, you're really cutting back on those Steelbooks and Blu-rays and stuff like that. And that's why I say to you, I'm probably never going to do this again. The only way you can get me to do this again is to make like a journey out of it. Like if I go to Bull Moose with Dave from Durant Cinema, or something like that, and something that's very intriguing, where I can look at all different types of Steelbooks and stuff like that, that would get me going. That would be something that I would be into. In fact, I haven't seen Dave in a while because of everything going on in the world, obviously. Things have been a little bit different. And I apologize if everything looks a little different right now. The sun just came out from behind that cloud, and it's very bright in my eyes, so I'm going to wrap this up. But this is very cool. I do like how when you slide up the slipcover, it actually takes the mask off, just like in the movie, and it says something like, feed me a stray cat. Very cool. If you haven't seen American Psycho, go check it out. It's now available in 4K on iTunes, as well as in Best Buy, if you can get a copy of it. I know it's sold out a lot of places. Luckily, I was able to grab a copy. And yeah, for everybody who's been watching my Blu-ray trips over the years, I guess it is now, thank you. Unfortunately, we live in a time where physical media is dead, for lack of a better word. And short of going someplace like Newberry Comics or Bull Moose, which we don't really have a lot of down here where I live, it's kind of a dead art going out, and not an art, but a dead format, I should say, going out and hunting for Blu-rays. Not to mention, when I went inside today, they were blasting music as loud as you can, and I just didn't feel like screaming over the music to try to be heard. So I just got a little bit of stock footage just to show you right here. And yeah, that's it, guys. So not to say that Burns Reviews is dead. We do end and explain videos. I am now doing early movie reviews because I am working with a PR agency that is hooking me up so that I can see movies in advance. I go to these screenings with other members of the press. It's a lot of fun. I do all those reviews. You can check them up down below. I do side-by-side videos. I do end and explain videos. And, you know, I probably will do something with Dave down the line. I need to reach out to Dave. I haven't talked to Dave in a bit. It's been a minute. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Please check out some other videos. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. I have been John here on Burns Reviews. You just got burned. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.